Turning, looking, see.
It is May 24th, and it's the second game of a three-game set between the Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. The Yankees have lost 3 in a row, and they look to Jordan Montgomery to get back on track. My recap, your reactions, coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. Tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. If you're like me and you want to play fantasy sports, but you don't want to compete against bots and people who do this professionally, you just want to have fun and not have to deal with rosters and injuries all season, get the PrizePicks app. Do yourself a favor. You simply pick 2 to 5 players, regardless of their sport. Pick whether they're going to have a good day or an off day. And obviously, the more you pick correctly, the better you do. It's that simple. And their withdrawals are super fast. It is a must-have app for the NYY Recaps audience. Download the PrizePicks app or visit prizepicks.com or use the link in the description of this video and use the code NYY Recaps and they will match your initial deposit up to $100. It will help the channel immensely. Do me a favor, go to PrizePicks, use the code, and win some money. Ooh. Getting late. How's everybody doing? I see we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. Big walk-off win to end the losing streak. But is it just me, or was that one of the more stressful, frustration-inducing walk-off victories ever? I thought for sure we were going to find a way to give away that game. I saw one commenter say that Aaron Hicks was so bad that it kind of soured the victory. But a win is a win, and you cannot kill my mood.
More of that, please.
So in case you couldn't catch the game tonight and may have missed the news, DJ LeMahieu was a late scratch to the lineup with a wrist injury. Also, Aroldis Chapman was placed on the 15-day IL with Achilles tendonitis. We also lost Giancarlo Stanton tonight with some calf issues. More on that in a minute. So the roster depth is about to be tested for a while. And I want your thoughts on that. Kyle Higashioka, though, reinstated from the COVID IL. You have to imagine that Joey Gallo will be soon. But for tonight, Miguel Andujar was the left fielder. He actually caught the final out of a scoreless first inning from Jordan Montgomery. Bottom one, Anthony Rizzo goes second deck to make it 1-0, lefty versus lefty, but Rizzo handles lefties well. 11th home run of the season.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Remember when he was hitting one every single day in April? We'd love to get a little bit more of that, please. Bottom two, Miguel Andujar nailed one to the warning track, but came up just short.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Bottom three, Jose Trevino hammered his second home run of the season into the Orioles bullpen. Solo shot to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead. Good night for him. Bottom four, Gleyber Torres snapped a streak of 132 plate appearances versus the Orioles since his last home run. He demolished his 6th home run of the season. Another solo shot for the Yankees. That made it 3-0. Top five, Orioles strung together a couple of hits and a soft ground ball to get on the board. That made it 3-1. Flash forward to the top of the 7th. Austin Hayes hits a solo home run into the first row of the right field porch. That knocked out Jordan Montgomery. Final line for Monty. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Really nice job for Jordan Montgomery tonight. And once again, he gets shafted out of a win. Mike King came in and the bullpen continued its tough, week, really. Mike King just did not have it tonight. One of his worst performances in recent memory. Bottom 7, more bad news. Giancarlo Stanton exited the game with right calf tightness. That's usually an IL trip, especially for him. Calf injuries can be a lingering problem. And with a player who's as valuable to the Yankees as Giancarlo Stanton, and as conservative as they like to be with injuries, it would honestly shock me if he doesn't go on the IL. And if he goes on the IL, I mean, it's 15 days this year. It's not 10. So that's, a couple of weeks he'll be out. We'll see what they say in the postgame report. If anybody says or sees anything, feel free to put it in the chat. Obviously, I can't watch live while it's on. Yankees did rally to tie it in the 7th. Gleyber Torres with his 7th home run, 2nd of the game, 4th solo home run of the night for the Yankees, and then a clutch hit by Trevino and some good base running by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa that tied it at 5. Holmes came in for the 8th and worked an absolutely beautiful 1-2-3 inning.
More of that, please.
Bottom 9th, Yankees get back-to-back walks from the number 8 and 9 hitters with 2 outs to set things up for Aaron Hicks. But of course, he struck out. What did you expect? I believe he's about 2 for 900 with runners in scoring position. Clark Schmidt came in for the top of the 10th and retired the side while stranding the Manfred runner. And bottom 10, L'Oreal hits one to shortstop, and Aaron Hicks, who was serving as the Manfred runner, breaks for home and gets thrown out. And so Hicks kills you again. Now, that one is probably a judgment call. They're probably saying go on contact, but, just not fast. I mean, hey, look, what do we want? A speedy center fielder? Come on, get out of here. Orioles get a run on a productive out in the top of the 11th, but IKF and Jose Trevino save the day. And the Yankees walk it off. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
More of that, please.
You're a winner. And we got to award the belt to Trevino. No vote necessary. We had one.
Belt winner.
But if it's over 90% with over 100 votes, I just go ahead and call it a landslide. Trevino picks up the W. Mike D says, why is Hicks still in the lineup? Well, we're running out of players. Mike D also says, when is enough? Yeager says, Stanton will be getting an MRI tomorrow. That's never good. DJ LeMahieu was cleared and could be back as soon as tomorrow. So at least we got some good news. Appreciate that. Thank you for doing the research that I can't do. AB says that wasn't Hicks's fault. I assume you mean the play at home. Look, it's probably a combination of the coach telling him you're going on contact and a good throw by the shortstop. But Hicks had such a bad night that I just felt like picking on him.
Yeah, baby.
Giovanni Cedeno says Hicks did have 2 hits today, so at least that's something. We can look at the box score real quick and see how everybody did. All right. So the Yankees, as you see, back to 17 games over 500. They were flirting with 20 there for a minute before that losing streak. 30-13. Orioles 18-26. You see the Yankees out-hit the Orioles tonight 11-7. So that's good. Aaron Hicks with 2 hits and 2 strikeouts, 4 left on base, most on the team. Aaron Judge had a tough night, 0 for 5, couple of strikeouts. Anthony Rizzo 1 for 3, 2 walks and a ribby home run, a long home run into the upper deck. His average sits at 232, but the OPS, which is what the Yankees look at, is at 867. L'Oreal obviously pinch hit for Stanton. Stanton was 0 for 2 on the night. That average had dropped down to 285, so maybe he's been struggling with something for a few days. Gleyber Torres with the big 2 home run night, 2 for 5 with 2 ribbies. Both were solo shots. 2 strikeouts. His average up to 241, 736 OPS. And Duhart, tough night, 0 for 5. He hit one to the warning track. I thought it was going. I mean, when he hit it, it had that shape where it kind of flies out of the top corner of the screen, and I jumped up. I was eating popcorn, and I jumped up, and popcorn went everywhere. Kiner-Falefa, 2 for 5 tonight with a big hit. Knocked in a huge run late in the game. Marwin Gonzalez, 1 for 3 with a walk. And then Jose Trevino, your belt winner, 3 hits, 3 ribbies. Let's take a look at the pitching. Obviously, a very understated performance by Jordan Montgomery. Just solid, very solid. 6 innings, 2 runs. That is a quality start. Again, no walks, throwing strikes. Pitches on the night, he threw 88 and 57 were strikes. Mike King, really tough night. That ERA going up towards the 2.96 or up towards the 3 region at 2.96. Lucas Litke came in to get 1 out. Clay Holmes, another dominant inning. His ERA is at 0.40. And honestly, I don't remember the run that he gave up. And then Wandy Peralta works a scoreless inning before Clark Schmidt picks up his 3rd win of the season. 2 hitless innings, 1 run. It was not earned because it was the Manfred man. Picks up a strikeout. And the Yankees take this one. First pitch at 7:09 p.m. And that was a long game ending right around 11 p.m. AB says, no matter what, Monty can't get a win. And James says, don't sleep on Monty. Christian Mazgalov says, even with the 2 hits, I want Hicks gone. Bat equals noodle.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I was standing up for Hicks earlier this year. But at some point, you have to come up with runners in scoring position or on base and get a hit. You cannot strike out every time that you have runners on base. The point of a baseball game is to score runs, right? You've got to find a way to get these guys in. You've got to. All right, let's take a look. AB says King is overused. Probably correct. Let's see here. Fritz Walter says, I fear the Rays aren't done smelling blood for long. If we can't start hitting, the Rays may slaughter us. It's going to be a tough series. I mean, we're going to Tampa Bay. This game is not in the Bronx. And Tampa Bay always gives us trouble there. And they're just a team that positions really well. The Yankees always seem to hit a lot of atom balls, right at them. Hard ground balls and hard line drives that are right at guys. The BABIP gods always come into play when you got the Rays in there, just because they do analytics so well. They frustrate the Yankees lineup because they'll throw 5 or 6 different pitchers in a game. Their starting pitcher might go 2 or 3 innings by design. And then they'll have somebody come in for the middle part of the game who's a good matchup. They're a pesky little team, and they've been playing deep into the postseason a lot of times over the last several years. So this is an experienced team. They've got dynamic players. Choi just kills the Yankees, but you've also got Wander Franco, Randy Arozarena. You got some good players on that team. Let's see here. Yo Elvis says, Holmes' only run was the first game of the season. Appreciate the dropping knowledge on us. Mike to AC Merch says, the bullpen is overused. 100% agree. We had a call about that in the pregame. By the way, no pregame tomorrow. I've got a busy day. It is my birthday, and I got some stuff going on, so no pregame tomorrow. But we'll be back on Thursday before the Rays game. Elijah Guerrero, Yankees first team to 30 wins. Let's see here what we got here. Frankie Baseball says, does Hicks even want to be there? I guarantee when he comes up with runners on base, he's feeling like he would rather not be in that situation right now. The fear starts to creep in. It becomes an emotional, a psychological thing. It's a psychological thing. And this is a guy who said he wanted to have a 30-30 season, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. I think he's 29 home runs short and 25 stolen bases short. So, we really got to take a look at upgrades sooner rather than later. The Yankees have done themselves a favor, as we say every night. They've put themselves in a good position. Most wins in the major leagues. But you've got a chance to add some pieces, especially now that you're having some injuries. I hope that Brian Cashman's not sitting on his hands. Also, some positive news. Jason Dominguez hit his 5th home run of the season tonight, hitting over 300 in May. He's got the average, I believe, up to 271 for the season. OPS over 800. So help is on the way. It just might be a couple of years away. AB says, Choi kills Garrett Cole. AB dropping awesome comments all night.
He's done it again.
Lori C. with the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Another trip around the old sun. Yankees 286 says Trevino earned his pinstripes tonight. Anthony Pupo says we need another arm, and I wholeheartedly agree. I don't know who's out there. It would be nice if Brian Cashman could pull another Clay Holmes out of the woodwork somewhere. Clay Holmes was somebody we didn't expect last year. And, you got him for a couple of prospects who haven't really done a whole lot. Hoy June Park was somebody that we were all begging to get called up. He goes to the Pirates and he jumps out to a really good start, hits a couple of home runs right away. But since then, he really hasn't done anything. Let's check in on Hoy June Park. I'm going to just look him up and see how we're doing on that trade. So, according to Baseball Reference, he is batting .214 with no home runs. He got 14 at-bats this year, 60 OPS plus. Last year, he hit .197 with 3 home runs and 14 RBI. So, I would say the Yankees probably won that trade. And that's good. Let's see here. AV says, when do you think that Jason can get called up? It's really a mystery at this point. He still strikes out way too much. And, he missed a year of development time. He's kind of overmatched in terms of his age. Like, he's playing against guys that are 2 or 3 years ahead of him. You have to think that, if he was an American kid, he'd be in his first year of college. But because he was an international signee, he's already playing against, really good players in the minor leagues. I would say if he continues to progress the way he's progressed this season, in which he's kind of taken off over the last couple of weeks, maybe by the end of the year, he's playing in high A. And then next year, you start him out in double A. And if he plays well there, then maybe you can end up in triple A. So maybe 2024, we keep pushing that timeline back a little bit. I think the nickname, the Martian, all the hype, the baseball card selling for record numbers has kind of created unrealistic expectations for Jason Dominguez. But I'm still a believer. One of the major issues with Jason Dominguez is that he struggles a lot from the right side of the plate. He's really good from the left side of the plate, but he struggles a lot from the right side. You might have to see him give up switch hitting. That's something that's known to happen in the minor leagues. Let's see here. All right, we're going to get to your comments. I kind of fell behind. Andy Williams says, package Florial to get this guy out of here. Prospect my ass. Gotta love the patience of Yankees fans. Gotta love the patience. Guy plays in 2 games. Look, I'm not going to pretend like he's a top prospect anymore. He was at one point, but he's kind of aged out of that. I would love to see him have some success, and not be one of those guys who's a former prospect that gets DFA'd. He's going to have a chance now with Stanton obviously out. You got Gallo probably out for at least another day or two. He's going to have some opportunities. It would be really nice to see him come through. Jose Duran says Jason is a lefty. Judge. It's a little bit early to say that, but if you look at Aaron Judge's minor league numbers, they weren't fantastic. What would happen with him is he would have kind of a bad year and then come back and conquer it the next year. And that's kind of what we're seeing from Jason this year. But the thing about Jason is he's not that big. He's strong, but he's only about 5'10", maybe 195, 200 pounds, something like that. God, that was a beautiful home run from Gleyber Torres, wasn't it? Over the State Farm sign. But, I don't want to compare Jason to Judge just yet. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit, but good night tonight for him. Yankees 286 says, I take it Volpe isn't ready yet. So Volpe off to a slow start as well. Frankie Baseball says, Michael King for Soto. Do we need to add anything? I think you're overreaching a little bit.
It doesn't work that way.
Luke WS says, where's Greg Allen when you need him? He's out west.
It doesn't work that way.
X-Wing classes, and Duhar deserves a chance. He did have a productive out in the extra innings. He flied out to right field to move the Manfred runner from second to third. That was a big out. That can't be discounted. And, of course, almost hit a home run in his first at-bat. Almost doesn't count. Only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. But, I like what I've seen from Miguel Andujar this year, even in his first call-up. And I think he's serviceable in the outfield. He's not going to give you what Joey Gallo gives you in terms of arm strength from the outfield. Not going to get as good a jump, so I don't think he's quite as fast. But I think he'll hit enough to make up for it. And right now the Yankees need some guys who can hit. Eric Lavoie says that Dominguez is 5'10" in heels. Mike to AC Merch says, empty the farm for Soto. You know, you don't want to go into a deal with the intention of emptying the farm, but we're going to talk about Soto for the third consecutive night and for the third of probably many, many nights this year until he gets either moved or not at the trade deadline. I saw a good point about, the contract he's going to get. So he's probably going to get $500 million, right? Now he won't get, it's not going to be $50 million a year, I don't think. I think it'll probably be like $46 million a year for, 13 or whatever year, however long it is, but longer than 10 years. And there's not a whole lot of teams that can make that kind of commitment. The Cubs can do it. The Dodgers can do it. The Yankees can do it. The Mets can do it. That kind of takes a lot of teams out of play. So if you trade for Soto, not only are you going to have to give up a lot of prospects, but you're going to have to ante up for that contract when it comes due. But that's still a ways off. Marcus says, isn't Allen in Pittsburgh? Maybe. I don't know. He hasn't done anything, so I haven't really paid attention. I think he ended up in Pittsburgh. I think you're right. I think it was Wade and Velasquez who went to the Angels. Let's see here. AB says, Volpe moved into MLB's pipeline's top 5 prospects in baseball. Only the 4th best in the AL East, though. Hey, it is what it is. You can only rank people for so long. They've got to do it on the field. I'm anxious to see him get going. All right, guys. Long night in the Bronx, but thankfully we pick up that win during the free baseball bonus cantos period in the 11th inning. Yankees pick up their 30th win of the year. Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Order that, please.
I'll see you later.